Good evening, you're watching Rwanda Television News live from Kigali with me, Gloria Mutesi. Starting us off tonight, health experts in Rwanda are saying people who recovered from COVID-19 should be followed up on because some are having difficulties coping with the consequences of having contracted it. The health experts also agree that the mental scars of COVID-19 leaves can be very serious. Sessionary with more.
Not all people who recover from COVID-19 have a hard time moving on from the experience of contracting the virus. They came and tested us, and I was told that my results had come back positive for corona. So I was taken to Gatenga, and 2 weeks later I was back. At first you become scared that you might die, but you soon calm down and accept the reality.
He told me that I had COVID-19 and that I should self-isolate. At that time, we were in the middle of the total lockdown at home. I was shocked at the news because I exhibited no symptoms at all. Then came the fear that I could die from it, but they gave me reassurances that people recover from it.
It is difficult to find people who will openly admit in front of a camera that they have struggled after recovering from COVID-19, but others we spoke to assured us that they exist.
Sometimes a person has a hard time accepting it and they become traumatized. Sometimes they may have a hard time socializing and may decide to continuously isolate themselves. Such people need counseling to help them move on from their experiences while sick, and that they no longer need to isolate themselves. People should talk to them so that they can be truly reintegrated back into society.
They should be talked to and assured that life must go on, and that if they suspect that they have any physical problems after recovering, they can go back to hospital for checkup. Some people could have gotten very sick when they contracted the virus and then continued to face health problems afterwards because of financial problems. I believe in that case the government should step in and help them improve their welfare. Health experts agree that the mental scars COVID leaves can be very serious. You may have recovered from the disease, but you know someone it killed, and that may result in trauma for you because you know exactly what your friend experienced before they died. The death of a loved one can result in trauma, knowing that you could be next, and that situation can leave many panicky. Officials at the Rwanda Biomedical Center say difficult times like these require that people's mental health be closely monitored.
First, there was the lockdown, and by definition, people are social creatures that do not do well in isolation. Then there is the fear that you or a loved one could contract COVID, or you could lose a loved one, and the prevailing preventive measures do not allow you to bury them as you would normally do, or that can affect mental health.
Ernest Habarugira, who lives in Muhima sector in Kigali City, hid the Tutsi who were hunted and killed during the 1994 genocide that was being perpetrated against the Tutsi. Ernest brought them to St. Paul and St. Famille, where they were later saved by the RPF in Inkotanyi. Some of the survivors he rescued have continued to praise him for what he did. Ghislaine Mugwaneza takes a look at his journey.
Ernest Habarugira is 79 years old. He lives in former Rugenja sector that is currently called Muhima sector. During the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, he rescued many people, including his neighbor's family called Munyariyonga. He remembers well that only one person died in his neighborhood, where the rest were hidden by him with the help from other neighbors. At that time, we had a chance except one woman that got killed and another one called Angelina that was my neighbor. All others were rescued. We decided to help them, and we were saying that no one among Tutsi people should be killed again. He says that he doesn't really know the number of people he rescued because of the fact that many people would come to him from different parts of Kigali. All Interahamwe militia used to come here. I used to stand there whenever I could see them coming, and they used to say that they want Inkotanyi that are hidden here. I could reply to them that I cannot hide Inkotanyi. We worked together to hide people because people would come from different places, especially at Gisozi and Chimichanga. It is hard to count them all. We took them, all those that come to us, and fed them the little we had. I had 15 people in my house. The survivors he helped appreciate his actions, for he was the one to encourage his neighbors to hide others. Beatrice Uwera is one of the survivors he hid. She says that what Ernest did to her family was beyond humanity. Like other people who lived in the genocide, we never suffered here at Habarugila's place, because even though we were hiding in the bushes, we would come back and drink tea, bathe and eat. We didn't miss anything until the time Interahamwe militia came and were given money to take us to St. Paul. In the second phase, they brought my father and mother and my young brother. They seemed to have moved because they brought bags and mattresses, which would feel that it's impossible. He accompanied them to St. Paul and brought us together again until the time Inkotanyi liberated us. Ernest Habarugila thanks God that enabled him to help those people, as well as RPF Inkotanyi that did the rest. Ghislaine Mugwaneza, reporting for RTV.
Thank you, Ghislaine. Now, Rwandans who are familiar with Tanzania testified that the country was very helpful to Rwandans who were expelled from their own country back in 1959, and that Tanzania's first president, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, later took the lead in denouncing the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi here in Rwanda. Tanzanians are also now joining Rwandans in commemorating the genocide. 85-year-old Isidore Kayumba is one of the people that was expelled from Rwanda in 1959. After fleeing Rwanda, he went to Congo. However, they were persecuted before they were welcomed by Tanzania.
At that time, many African countries refused to welcome us. It's Nyerere that welcomed us and accepted that we go to Tanzania. We were given access to schools, we got jobs, we were able to farm till we were able to come back home. Nyerere desired a peaceful Africa, and those who were against peace are the ones that caused divisions, such as those who said the Tutsi didn't belong in Rwanda. When such information reached people like Nyerere, he would deny them and condemn such acts.
The Tanzanian ambassador to Rwanda, Ernest Jumbe Mangu, says that due to Tanzania's good relations with Rwanda, Tanzanians today and every day will always stand with Rwandans in commemorating the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi.
Actually, the Tanzanians don't know what happened here. You'll recall that I said that before genocide, we play a very big role in creating peace and harmony in Rwanda. So Tanzanians are aware of what is happening or what happened, and of course this commemoration of genocide, 1994 genocide, it's something which is also well known in Tanzania, and we are closely related.
We are happy that the new government is being led by Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, who was the former vice president. What the late President John Magufuli had started, they did together. So I'm hopeful she will keep it going diligently and that our relationship will continue. And we say this as RwandaTV.
Widows of the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi living in Gishamvu sector, Huye district of the southern province, have said that some of the most pressing issues that they used to struggle with, including proper housing, are being addressed. Some, however, say they've continued to struggle with limited resources, unable to join different associations and cooperatives so that they can develop. Local authorities in the sector say that the widows will continue to be assisted as the funds become available, both through local government, developmental initiatives, and specialized support for genocide survivors. One such initiative in the sector is the Busoro Model Settlement that is comprised of 8 homes in the 2-in-1 format that houses 16 families, most of them including genocide survivors from 1994 atrocities that were committed against the Tutsi. Now, moving on, Muhura sector residents in Gatsibo district appreciate protectors of the pact known as Abarinzi B'igihango, among them from their commitment to some of the work they did during the 1994 against the Tutsi.
Elize Mugenzi is one of the people that were awarded Umurinzi w'Igihango for his actions of rescuing 11 people during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. He gives a testimony of how he managed to do this.
For me
to become Umurinzi w'Igihango, it was based on my Christianity. When I saw what was happening, I felt sorry and decided to rescue those in trouble. And many people would come to me finding a hiding place. There were 11 Tutsi people from different places. They came to me on 7th April, knowing that people have started dying. I hid them in the kitchen because I was living here on the parish. Those people included women, girls, and children. They used to be in the kitchen during the day and then put basin and food in the kitchen for use. That Christianity enabled me to do what I did because I said that if something bad happens, I'll die with them. Christopher Kalisa is one of the survivors that Abarinzi b'Igihango rescued. He appreciates their role in saving Tutsi people. Other survivors say that Abarinzi b'Igihango are the cornerstone of unity and reconciliation, which leads to the country's development. I want to first thank Abarinzi b'Igihango because they contributed a lot for us to survive. I'd like to appreciate for that action they did out of love. They saved us really. If we had many like them, no one would have died by that time. What we can learn from them is not to engage in bad actions, especially in ideology matters, things that do not contribute in countries' development. We have unity and reconciliation cornerstone in Muhura sector that comes from Abarinzi b'Igihango and those they helped. Umurinzi w'Igihango is a Rwandan or a foreigner who contributed to the preservation of unity among Rwandans, protecting the country, as well as having the Rwandan identity and ideals. Those people managed to save some of the Tutsi people that were on the list to be killed during the genocide that was perpetrated against them.
That's all we had for you tonight. Thank you for the privilege of your time. And as we commemorate for the 27th time the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, let's remember, unite, and renew our commitment to never again. Stay well and stay safe. God bless you and keep you. And until next time, I'm Gloria Mutesi.